Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.
What's going on, YouTube? It's Nathan back with another video presentation. Happy Taco Tuesday. I hope everybody is off to a great week, had a great weekend, staying safe. I apologize if I'm adjusting my headphones. This is episode 18, excuse me. It's episode 18 of the podcast. Really quick, just want to take the opportunity to just say thank you for the support that you've given me, this channel. As I stated, the name has been rebranded. All the episodes up until this episode has been uploaded on Spotify, Anchor via Spotify. Couple of announcements. All the titles for season 1, they have been given titles. I think up until like season 1, excuse me. I think it's up to like 13, 14. They all have titles. So my goal is to actually do season 5 and season 1 of putting in timestamps. And actually, I got some good feedback from a couple people saying it's really good to really use to use the chapters in YouTube. That way, you can say, "Oh, okay, let me see what you talked about in this segment, on the show." I have decided that season 5 will end on February 11th because it just makes sense. I would hate to continue after the Super Bowl. So after the Super Bowl, it's going to be season 6. I cannot believe we're 6 seasons. I cannot believe that. As the start of the NFL offseason, now we're starting to get into college basketball, NBA basketball. With Major League Baseball, it's looking kind of ugly because they still have not come to any agreement. So spring training, that could sting. We got 4 more weeks of Athletes Unlimited basketball, which has been really great to watch. I'm telling y'all, definitely check it out. And also to the WNBA offseason free agency is off to a hot start for some teams, and also to good opportunity because I think the FIBA games for basketball is also starting up in about 2 weeks. So definitely, y'all be tuned in because we have some big things for the podcast. In this episode today, please forgive me. I will go on a tangent about the Baltimore Ravens as John Harbaugh had his season-ending press conference. Yes, I listened to the whole, I think it was 40 minutes and some change plus. And there were some things that he said that really, really told me about the where this team is going. Now, then we're going to get into recapping the Final Four. Real quick recap. Just talk about Major League Baseball. I got a new segment for you guys. I think you guys will like it. Then, unfortunately, we painfully have to talk about the Washington Wizards as they lost tonight to the Milwaukee Bucks. And then we're going to recap Maryland basketball, men and women. The men lost tonight. The Michigan State was a tough loss. Good because it was a tough loss, but they almost came back and won the game. They almost did. And then we're going to recap the WNBA. Also, give a real quick look at Towson Basketball as well. Then the WNBA, the Mystics, we made some moves, okay? And then Liz Cambage was on Twitter and said something that actually I 100% agreed about the WNBA. I'll get into that. Then we're going to recap free agency, and then we're going to recap the last 2 games of week 1, which was great. We had Team Carrington beating Team Sims and Team Russell beating Team Mitchell. And then also tomorrow is the start of week 2. So I'm definitely going to break that down. as far as who is drafted, because each week the league leading scorers, they are your team captains. So the first two, I think we got 4 games tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just make sure. Let me just confirm. I just want to make sure I say that right. Yeah, we got 4 games tomorrow. So definitely checking out that. But we're going to start by going on a rant about the Baltimore Ravens. Before I get on my soapbox,
could have, would have, should have is the difference of what I'm talking about. The good teams don't come in and say could have. They get it done. All right? It's that simple. I'm tired of saying could have, should have, would have. That's why we ain't good enough yet. Because we're saying could have and they ain't.
Okay. So John Harbaugh had his press conference, season-ending press conference, and this was a different John Harbaugh that I have seen over the years. He came out, I don't want to say aggressive, but I think he knows what needs to happen. Let's keep it real, ladies and gentlemen. We finished 8-9. We were 8-3. We were first place in the AFC North. And to see where this team, 6 games, the most epic collapse, and we could get in all the injuries, and the team it was just a bad year. Okay, let's start off with that. It was a bad year. All right. Now, we should have seen this coming, that Greg Roman was not going anywhere. While I am not a Greg Roman apologist, and I have been on the record with Greg Roman that this offense is getting stale. And it's not just about this season, ladies and gentlemen. It's the last, really, since when Lamar really took over the team. He didn't endorse Greg Roman. He kind of came out and said, "Hey, well, Greg is a good offensive coordinator, but if he can't get the job done, time's up." Now, let's keep it real. He knows going into the offseason, the Ravens have some work to do, because this is just me. I don't know how Eric DaCosta feels. I don't know how Steve Bisciotti feels. But if you're any member of the Baltimore Ravens and you see a divisional rival going to the Super Bowl, you should be pissed. You should be high rate, because now you're compounding the fact that, wow, now I have to not only reset, I now have to go, well, Cincinnati is the top team in the AFC North. No disrespect to Cincinnati. Well deserved. I wish them all nothing but the best in the Super Bowl. I do. But that was one thing I took away from the press conference. And also, too, unfortunately, let's just keep it real. We know Mr. Lamar Jackson is due for a payday. Now, I want to give a shout to Quadri Ishmael, because I was on Twitter and there was a Twitter space with him, Sarah Allison, and Ingrid Vids. And Quadri said it. That the offer that was given to Lamar was lucrative. It was a generational deal, and that the number was high, according to what Quadri said. But Lamar's camp said no. I think what Lamar is doing is taking a chance on himself, and I respect that. But also, too, what I hate about signing a contract, there are teams that will get you at your lowest. They're going to sign you to what they think your value, when your value diminishes because of injuries. So we'll see. Now, we also have 10 picks going into the draft. There are some guys, free agent wise, that some will stay, some will go. That's just the reality. Okay. Now, biggest thing that I took away from the press conference, also, he said offensive line is a must. If you are okay as a Raven fan seeing Alejandro Villanueva, Ben Powers, Bradley Bozeman, Kevin Zeitler, who was your best offensive lineman, and then on the right side, you re-signed Patrick McCarry, not a fan of that contract, but okay. Tyree Phillips, and you signed Jawan James, who that I knew he wasn't going to come back. Breaks into a non-guaranteed deal. At the end of the day, that offensive line was trash. Let me rephrase that. Scratch it off the record. That was a complete disappointment. That's a better word. Let me say it like that. That was completely disappointing. I'll get it. Ronnie Stanley was out. I had all my chips in the middle of the table, hoping Ronnie would come back healthy. Didn't happen. Orlando Brown Jr., I get it. It was the cap. He was not going to get the money he was looking for, even though I feel like I just the way that happened, I didn't like it. Okay, now we all know Alejandro as serviceable as he was. He's not coming back. Okay, signing Bradley Bozeman, I'm not so sure about that. Okay, they're gonna have to. I don't know. Ben Powers. I think about that one. And then they're going to need a right tackle. Now, the coaching staff. Now, he didn't fully, like I told you, he showed, I get it with Greg Roman. I mean, we talk history. That team got to the Super Bowl. That year, Alex Smith was benched in favor of Colin Kaepernick, but they didn't win. Now, it was weird to have let Martin. It wasn't weird. I understood why Martindale had to go because I think it just needed to be. It just needed to be something different on defense, and I just feel like the philosophy. I think there was just. The philosophies, that this getting to the quarterback, that was disappointing. Some of the play calling, really questionable on defense. And then also, too, we were second to last in passing on defense. Now against the run, we were decent. Okay. He did talk about he's expecting new things from Mike McDonald, who I believe he's going to go back to that 4-3 defense. With Greg Roman, I think he's putting. I don't want to say he's putting trust, but he's holding Greg Roman accountable to getting to realizing to tap the potential of this offense. Because let's keep it real. You've got Duvernay, Poche, Wallace, Bateman. How are we not getting these brothers involved? I mean, and I have been on the record, go back and look at the tape. If you give these guys opportunities, they will eat. They are like, I've seen what they could do to contribute on this roster. And Mark Andrews and I've noticed, this is just me. Mark Andrews has been the safety button. He is the safety pin. Well, if I throw to Mark Andrews, I know Mark Andrews is going to get the job done. Hollywood Brown. He's a good wide receiver, but my number one receiver should not seasonally have that many drops. Rashard Bateman, I understand coming off an injury. Don't want to rush him back. But when looking back at film, I'm seeing where guys are open, or why did he not hit this route, or why did he not throw the ball there? That falls on coaching, and that falls on the players too. So we could talk about I get it. He didn't have J.K. Dobbins. He didn't talk about. He didn't have Gus Edwards or even Justice Hill. Now, there was a comment that was made, and I didn't agree with it. Moving on from Patrick Ricard, ladies and gentlemen, since 1996, okay, this is just a fact. The Baltimore Ravens have always valued fullbacks. Chuck Evans, Sam Gash, Musa Smith, Vontae Leach, Lorenzo Neal, Kyle Yushef. I can't think of the other guy we had. He ended up going to the Falcons. I can't think of his name. Even LaRon McClain. The Ravens have always valued fullbacks. Now, I personally believe that there's conversation. And I think Greg Roman knows if he doesn't get it together, because that's why they brought in Keith Williams and T. Martin, ladies and gentlemen, because better route running, better efficiency. To go from to 13th, I believe it was, in passing, that's pretty damn good. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done. Now, he talked about getting the 4-year extension, which I'm happy about because, his success, it speaks for itself. Now, I thought some of the other things that he was talking about was a little telling. To me, I felt like he should have not see. Also, too, what gets me is that they brought up Lamar Jackson. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not for a coach to talk about. That's GM. Now, Eric DeCosta is supposed to have a press conference Friday. I know he's been doing some stuff with the Senior Bowl. I know he definitely had, I think they looked at 44 players. So I just think that this offseason, I think guys need to be held accountable, and we need to look each other in the mirror because there were a lot of things that just didn't go right for me. It just didn't. And it's unfortunate because when you look at this team, it's easily a contender for the Super Bowl. Easily. Now, I feel like also too that really wasn't addressed. This is kind of the elephant in the room. T. Martin had got an interview with the Buffalo Bills. Why not Greg Roman? See, and I figured it out, and I've learned this. Okay, offensive coordinators like Greg Roman, for example, they don't just go to another team and become an offensive coordinator. What they do is they interview the wide receiver coach, tight end coach, quarterback coach. I'm happy T. Martin's still in Baltimore because this is me. If Greg Roman doesn't get it together, T. Martin is the new offensive coordinator. Guaranteed. Okay. I'm also looking at the fact that the way from 2019, after that loss to Tennessee, 2019, it's just questions. The biggest things that need to be addressed, like I stated, they've got to fix that offensive line. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm not in the air with Ronnie Stanley. I believe he'll come back healthy. Okay? So you got that side. They're going to have to address the right side. Need a right guard. Well, Zettler, I kind of feel like they can find. Nah, I'll leave that one alone. Maybe a center. Okay. Number two, I've noticed that he wants to make Lamar a pocket passer. I feel like what they need to do is take the reins off of him, like stop holding his hand and let Lamar do what Lamar wants to do. I have seen him when he was at Louisville, audibles at the line. I'm not seeing that. I have not seen that since he's been in Baltimore. I have not seen that. So that lets me know that another thing that has to change is this: we play the Raven way. Ladies and gentlemen, that philosophy has been instilled since 1996. We need to catch up with the rest of the NFL because it ain't working. Because when I look at teams like Buffalo, now Cincinnati, Kansas City, and by another year or two, the Los Angeles Chargers, Rams, not the Rams, Duck. Again, I'm not these. One thing that I've noticed, and yes, and I'm going to go there. Okay. Since Lamar Jackson has been drafted, I cannot remember now 4 years later some of the things that are being said. Well, it's time to move on from Lamar Jackson. He's not that guy. After 4 years. So if that's the case, who are you replacing him with? Tyler Huntley, who's what, 0-6 as a starter, who's shown that he still needs to learn, he's shown he has weaknesses. And I don't know, again, I don't know where that came. I like Tyler Huntley. No, there's not a shot at him. It's the truth. He's not ready to be a starter. He is a good backup. Now, Lamar Jackson doesn't get any he's not getting away with it either. Lamar Jackson has to continue to get better. There's no such thing as a perfect quarterback. But you know what? Because look at the success of Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow. Now the pressure's on you. Well, how are you going to respond to this? Well, let's keep it real. Lamar Jackson in the beginning of this season was an MVP conversation. He carried this team for the most part. If we expected Lamar Jackson to do what he did with this team, as it was with the injuries, that is a failure. That is a recipe for disaster, and that is a fact. And then also too, I wasn't comfortable with some of the things Lamar said about team bonding. You mean to tell me throughout the whole season, Dwayne Poche been with you for about 2 years? Marquise Brown, who's now the leader of that receiving corps. Y'all mean to tell me y'all can't get together and bond? Now, don't get me. I'm not questioning that. I'm just saying these are it's the little things that he talked about. He also talked about when it came to route running, he and particularly offensively in the red zone, it was bad. Like we just weren't. Field goals are great. Shout out to Justin Tucker. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't. There was really not a game I could point to. But maybe then now I'm gonna go back to because I have it here, quote, Nothing is a lock. Nothing is locked in life, to use that term, but I'm excited about it. I plan on Greg being back. I believe Greg plans on being back, but it's still early. We're 3 weeks past the season, and I know things will happen for sure. Blah 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 blah. Now, he also right here. This is the question. Is by Jeff Zerbiak. I think we really have a good vision and understanding of what we want to build offensively. The players want to build around and what we need to do, and we need to do it. We came up short in a lot of ways. If you look back and take a step back, it's kind of interesting what we did. We gained a lot of yards, but we didn't do a good enough job of turning yards into points. That's really what it boiled down to. I think we ranked, here it says we ranked 6th in offense per game, but you knew that, but 17th in points. Why? Because our field position wasn't that good. We didn't do a very good job of selling field position, but we gave us yards on defense. That's the kind of deal. He also pointed out that we're third best offense on 3 and out, which is good, but he also pointed out that, the drives, there's no sustainable. Like, it would be, okay, we're getting 2 first downs, and then we got to punt the ball. Like, and then another drive where we can't even get we can't even get at least 2 first downs in a row. We're punting the ball. The time of possession was not that great. There's just a lot of things offensively that the Ravens have to fix. And I believe they will do that. Now, the final point. He also talked about Tyus Bowser. Supposedly, from what I'm understanding, yes, sadly, he did tear his Achilles. He, according to John Harbaugh, is supposed to be back by the start of the season. He said by training camp. He thinks that's his prediction. Now, there's also a question about Ronnie Nick Boyle, Marcus Peters. He also talked about J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, and where they're at. And he really wasn't sure where these guys are. So he's hopeful that things will go in the right direction, but he's still unsure. Now, Derek Wolfe. Now, the Ravens, Anthony, what's good, bro? The Ravens have a story. I've noticed this. Now, I didn't know this, but Derek Wolfe got hip surgery. I did not know this at all until John Harbaugh brought it up yesterday. The Ravens are really weird for covering injuries. I remember one game, Sammy Watkins, I think he might have caught the pass or dropped it. And I thought it was a head injury. And then they come out and said, he has a hamstring injury. Really clever covering up the injuries. Trying to keep the other teams off its toes. So, another thing that was really, really interesting. They talked the head of training, the training staff. That was surprising that we kept him because he was the main culprit of last year, 2020, of half the team going down with COVID. He was responsible for that. From understanding, he was breaking COVID protocol. He wouldn't wear a mask and different things like that. Now, I have it in my notes here. I'm just trying to find where I had put it because it was really interesting. He talked about where he wants to change how guys are training, how just everything like that. And I'm kind of like, when he said it, I'm like, what? Because right here, he said he talked about it. He said, quote, we sat in there for 4 hours and went over every aspect of what we're doing, what we can do on the football side to try to improve that, from practice schedules, from training camp schedules, from OTAs, from how we train and from how we condition, even how we do our team. All of our modeling in terms of load and things like that, and team periods and individual periods. I'm sitting there going like, but we should have already been doing that. Then it hit me. Y'all remember this coach, right? That just got fired.
Get down! Get down!
That guy, Vic Fangio. After when we beat them, he had a press conference. I had played it on one of these episodes, and that coach was there when I was whippersnapper. Interesting. Okay. It was something that was said. Well, that's just how they operate. They're safety first. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay. Like, all right. Yeah, Greg, you kind of sound like Vic, you sound like a bag of sour grapes. Then it hit me, and I'm looking at like, oh, does Vic Fangio know something that we didn't? Because he was a coach here for I think it was like 2 seasons. He did hit on something. So I'm like, okay. So he talked about that, but I was surprised that we kept him. But I've been ranting for almost a good minute. I say all that to say this. The Ravens know what they have to do this offseason. That's a fact. Unfortunately, we're going to have to just bite the bullet with Lamar Jackson. I'm not a fan of giving quarterbacks. He should not be the highest paid player on my team. I'm sorry. That's just me. He is a generational talent. This team was a complete disappointment. It was. Okay. Offense, defense, poor execution on all sides of the ball. Players got to take some accountability, and coaches have to take some accountability. At the end of the day, this team, healthy, get this team back. The number one priority is guys getting back healthy. That's number one. Number 2, who stays, who goes in free agency. Number 3, the draft. I guarantee you they're going to hit on this draft. And number 4, get through training camp, get through the preseason. A healthy Raven team, I'm calling it right now. Super Bowl.
Guaranteed.
Let me transition finally to, as I apologize for that Raven rant, I'm going to transition to the Final Four. It was a very, very disappointing weekend for me because my agenda was ruined. Let me start with the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. As they came back from 18, the Bengals won in overtime. Oh, my God. 27. You smoking. No, I'm just kidding. 27-24.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Now, where do I begin? So, Cincinnati, after the second quarter, that play, which made absolutely no sense by Kansas City when they should just took the 3. I have to give their defense credit. They turned it around. To me, I thought they did. I think they get the credit they need to. They made that offense look very, very different. I mean, Kansas City couldn't get nothing going. They could only get the 3 points when it counted, which was which was very weird to me. They forced 4 punts. They had 2 picks. Even at Cincinnati's offensive line, Joe Burrow got sacked 1 time. I also noticed something that was different. Him getting out the pocket. I'm also looking at T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Joe Mixon. Everybody got involved. Now, CJ did get hurt. I don't remember what time I had what the injury was. I know it was something with the leg, so I don't know if he'll be back. I don't know if he'll play in the Super Bowl. I doubt it, but he'll probably be questionable. Like they shut down. I mean, Eli Apple. Oh my God, they shut Tyreek Hill down. He only had 7. I think he had 8 catches, 78 yards, and a touchdown in the first 2 quarters, and then the second half, he was nowhere to be found. Now, Kansas City. Jim Mora, let me know how you feel about this game.
Well, what happened was that second game, we got our ass kicked, or the second half. We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
I'm lost. You're up 18 points in the first half. I'm thinking oh, okay, here it is. It's going to be a blowout. Watch 44-3. And then I'm oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, I just think that, again, going back to that play with the wheel route to Tyreek, I question that. You should have took the 3 or run it. That was, to me, the momentum change. Now, the amount of points, I just feel like they missed opportunities. Like I said, that goal line, and then which is even more weird because it was 9 seconds, and then Patrick Mahomes called a timeout, which was weird to me. Chiefs should have ran the ball more. McKinnon, hilarious, average 5 yards. Exactly. Thank you. That's this right there. That's comment of the day. Shout out to you. And also too, let's the play calling just was weird. This didn't look right in the second half. And then again, going into the second half, they put it twice. And then that's when he threw the first interception. And then that's when 10 of those 10 points of that comeback for Cincinnati, that's where it came in, and the tied at 21. And then I'm kidding here going okay, what's going on? Then to add on to that, their defense kind of looked like what it was in the early part of the season. They really, really struggled, particularly on the goal line. They got the ball back where it was 6 minutes. They were down 3. But Patrick Mahomes, they had an opportunity to win the game right there, and he's holding the ball. What are we doing? So to me, I don't know if it was just oh, nobody's getting open, or we're just throwing the game. But I was completely disappointed. In the Kansas City. Again, I thought when he threw that interception in overtime, game's over. So do I think that this loss was on Patrick Mahomes? No, I think the loss was on the Kansas City Chiefs, because overall they look like a complete different team. Now I don't know. Y'all let me know, and those are in the comments. Y'all can let me know. maybe it's me, but where was this Chiefs team last Sunday against Buffalo? Did they leave everything out there on the field against Buffalo? Okay, let me know, because I don't know how you can even recover after that. But it is what it is. For the Cincinnati Bengals, they advance to the AFC Championship.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
Let's painfully transition to the second game of the night. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Los Angeles Rams. The final score, Los Angeles Rams 20. The San Francisco 49ers 17.
This is how I believe, okay? I'm from the old school. I believe this. I would rather play with 10 people and just get penalized all the way until we got to do something else, rather than play with 11 when I know that right now that person is not sold out to be a part of this team. It is more about them than it is about the team. I cannot play with them, cannot win with them, cannot coach with them, can't do it. I want winners. I want people that want to win.
Okay, let me say this. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams as they advance to the Super Bowl. I'm happy for Matthew Stafford. I want to be on the record. I don't hate him. I think he was a good quarterback. I think he just got the bad end of the stick in Detroit. I am happy. But I really wanted the 49ers to win. Damn it. I'm sorry. Okay? Like, going into this game, they lost 6 straight games to San Francisco. Okay? Let's just call it what it is. And in that last game of the season, Sean McVay the clock management was just, to me, was the biggest key in that loss, if you're the Rams. Now, I have, like, okay. I never slept on the Rams defense, because when you have Von Miller, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, Floyd, even Eric Waddle, who came out of retirement. Shout out to Eric Waddle, man. But no, seriously, that defense I had no issues with whatsoever. But he's got to get some credit in this win. We all know that offense, OBJ, my fantasy pick, and Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers. I got to give Robert Woods some love before he got hurt. Higbee, who got hurt. Just Von Jefferson. They collectively, everybody needs to get some love for the game, for the game that they put out there. Cooper Kupp, 11 catches for 142 yards. Odell Beckham Jr. had 113. Those are good stats, but only putting out 20 points. Like, I'm not mad at that. I will say they did struggle to get the running game going. To me, it made no sense. Sean McVay, to me, had a brain fart of using all their timeouts. What do we got here? Rams stopped the 49ers run game and forced Kyle Shanahan to use his quarterback to win the game with a minute and 46 seconds on the clock. Salute to the Rams. Defense and Stafford making more plays than Jimmy. And another comment of the day. I mean, he took the words right out of my mouth. Now, shout out to really quick. I got to give a shout out to Robbie Gould, because that streak didn't get snapped. And I thought it was weird. Jalen Ramsey's trash talking Robbie Gould, so that was weird. But going back to this comment, that San Francisco, they just missed opportunities. They should have won this game in my book. That's just me. Couple things worked. Deebo Samuel. who I think almost had almost 100 yards and a touchdown. Elijah Mitchell. That defense held its own. Nick Bosa got a sack and a half. But when it counted the most, Jimmy G let me down. Like, I don't know why. And I get it. I mean, they did stop the running game according to what was said here. But I really thought the game was over when Kyle Shanahan decided to punt the ball on 4th and 2 at midfield. He should have went for it. But, and then also too, Jaquiski Tarek. Thanks to you as well. No disrespect. No, I'm just kidding. The Super Bowl was in his hands. And that was the game. So the Los Angeles Rams are going to the NFC Championship. Now, I want to focus on Jimmy Garoppolo.
What the hell was that? Hey, what the hell? You freaking kidding me?
Okay. This is what I have to say about Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's a good starter. Jimmy Garoppolo has shown his tendencies that he has his flaws. Now, I'm not comfortable with the fact that, yes, Trey Lance was drafted, 3rd overall pick. I'm not really comfortable giving him. Stafford also had 2 touchdown passes dropped, and Jalen Ramsey dropped the pick 6. Yeah, as I already said, this didn't do enough offensively. Good point. I'm just not comfortable with Trey Lance as a starter. Like, the San Francisco 49ers got to the position that they were not because of Jimmy Garoppolo. I think I look at, like, for example, Brad Johnson, Trent Dilfer. Like, they're pieces. They're not like they're just little pieces to the puzzle to get the team to where it's at. I'm not comfortable with the guy going into now year 2 and I'm not saying run it back with Jimmy, but if we're okay with Trey Lance, he's going to need some. They got Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell. I like the Jennings, George Kittle, Elijah Mitchell, and Debo. They could probably look for another wide receiver. They could use some more back on the defensive side of the ball, some backfield help. I think the 49ers could run it back next year. I don't know. I'm iffy on Trey Lance. I think it was a great pick, but I'm not comfortable giving him the reins year 2 like that. That's just me. So we're going to transition to news around the NFL, and then we're going to transition into baseball, my new segment, and then college and the Wizards, painfully, and then we got college basketball and the WNBA. So the Panthers, they hired Christy Coleman as the new team president. This is a good hire. I need to actually send this to a friend. They do a show. They have a segment called Diversity with Delilah. Shout out to Delilah Crespo. She's replacing Mr. Tom Gillick. He was with the Panthers in 2018. And Miss Coleman is the highest ranking female executive since Tina Becker, because she was with she was the chief operating officer with the then owner, Mr. Jerry Richardson. So she was with the Packers for a good number of years. She also was with the Charlotte FC. She's also was team president for Charlotte FC, the Major League Soccer team. So I like that because Mr. Kelly, Nick Kelly, was appointed chief executive operations of Turper Sports and Entertainment. It's part of a leadership shakeup. So kind of curious to see where that'll go. So what some things about Brian Flores happened. I do know that he got an interview with the Texans and the Saints. I want to address that Friday because I understand that there's a lawsuit out. I know tomorrow he's going to be on Good Morning America. So I want to have all the facts on that before I give my opinion. So I don't want people to go, you're not going to talk about Brian Flores. Give me till Friday. Let me have let me process everything that I've seen, and I'll give you my take on it Friday. I want to hear what others have to say on it. So I already know there's going to be one guy. You already know who I'm talking about. He gonna go off tomorrow. I already know that. So I'm gonna hold off on that. Now, the Packers are moving on from Maurice Drayton, who was a special teams coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. They were not that great this year, particularly again against the 49ers. It was just a complete mess. So I wish him all the best and hoping that he will get another opportunity. Ken Dorsey, former quarterback, he got promoted to offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. T. Martin was interviewed for that job, and thank God that he's still with Baltimore because please, give me T. Martin as offensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens next year. Let's get it. What else? The Super Bowl. This is just me, y'all. I really quick. I don't watch the Super Bowl. I don't watch the halftime show. That's for me where I refill up on food. I need to start washing dishes, even start condensing food. If I got to make some more food. Just really quick. Yeah, I'm going to take some flack. I think bone wings, I think wings are overrated. I'm more of a pizza, not from Papa John's. I mean, getting a pizza from the store, chicken strips, nuggets, mozzarella sticks, veggie, fruit tray, ginger ale on ice, Coke, Sprite. I don't drink alcohol. Did I say chips, dip? That's kind of what my menu is. Now, last year I kind of went overboard, but it was worth it. So definitely, yeah, you're not gonna see chicken wings. You'll see now if it's boneless wings, then we good. But if it's like where you got to eat off the bone, no. And just for the record, lemon peppered wings are overrated. I know I'm gonna take some flack for that. And of course, we got to talk about Mr. TB12, Mr. Dimple Chin himself, Tom Brady, officially calls it a career after 22 seasons. First ballot Hall of Famer, 6th round pick by the New England Patriots. I mean, look, what can you say? I mean, great quarterback of this era of football. Again, I don't do that greatest of all time. I think each player of their generation has made an impact on the game. There was Tom Brady, Big Ben, the Manning brothers, that's it, Phillip Rivers, Drew Brees. And what he's not, I mean, I just think this is just me because there was a podcast and there was a comment where it was like, I don't think the league can survive without TB12. Are you not paying attention to Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert? I'll even put Deshaun Watson on that list because he's kind of there's a star next to his name because of what's going down in Houston. Maybe Tua. The AFC's got quarterbacks for years to come. The NFC has to get his act up. Kyler Murray. I don't know what's going to happen with Russell Wilson. You know, we got Trey Lance and Justin Fields. They're still young. Zach Wilson, Trevor. The league is going to be in good hands. Said the same thing about when Michael Jordan left. Who was there? Kobe, Shaq, Vince Carter, Grant Hill, Tracy McGrady. The league, these leagues, they make the same argument in football, baseball, basketball. The league is still going to be in good hands for a good 10 to 15 years. It just because we were so spoiled with the greatness of like a Tom Brady, like a Big Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning. Sometimes it's like, okay, we got to move on. Like, I'll be honest, I wasn't surprised that he was going to retire. I wasn't. I mean, also, too, let's keep it real. That same Tampa team, they got all 22 starters back. They got a championship there, but it's hard to retain certain guys. It is. So I wish him all nothing but the best. He's definitely a Hall of Famer in my book. Now, Jim Harbaugh, supposedly, it's unconfirmed that he's going to take the job for the Minnesota Vikings. That's interesting. I got to see how that's going to work because I mean he's going to get a good board of talent: Dalvin Cook, Tyler Conklin, Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. The defense, listen, let's just keep it real. That $46.5 million experiment, that failed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The Denver Broncos, the trust for Pat Bowlen, who was the former owner for the Broncos, they have begun to start the process of selling the team to the Broncos. Someone will buy that team. What else is going on? I want to talk about it. I lost my train of thought with it. It will come to me. But that's really all I have for right now, the news. Now, the East, the Shrine Bowl did happen. I'm gonna reach out to Sean Spencer. I'm gonna bring him on the show with me, and we're gonna break that down because we're starting to get ready for the NFL Combine and different things like that. So definitely be tuned in for that. But we're going to transition to Major League Baseball. We're now at day 62. As of today, spring training is most likely to be delayed. There's been no progress at all. And the proposal that was sent, according to the Players Association's proposal, was a drop in its bonus pool request for pre-arbitration players from $105 to $100 million. They also want an additional year of service and to shorten the path to free agency. And then also that's also if they won awards. Okay. Like, for example, if I'm in the top 5 rookie of the year or reliever or like Cy Young or making one of the like first or second teams, like that gives me the more incentive to say, hey, like my path to free agency should be short. Weird. Now, also too, it just doesn't seem like it's just no progress. The league did bump the proposed salary minimum to like 615. So they added $15,000. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a slap in the face. Okay, because they want 750,000, 775,000. That's what the players want. Now, pitchers and catchers are supposed to report as of Valentine's Day, and we've been at this since December 2nd. And that sucks. And that really, really does suck. And I also, too, while I want to, I hate to bring this up, but I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Shohei Ohtani, as he was he was put on the cover for MLB 22, the show. Well deserved. I think he had a great year. Now, from what I understand, there's no talk to him as an extension yet, but he's on the cover. It was a no-brainer. We could have talked about putting Vladimir Guerrero on there. Now, the game comes out on April 5th. So, and it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch this year. Ugh. I don't know how that's going to work. But congratulations to Shohei Ohtani. Well deserved. Now, let's transition into my new segment where I'm going to highlight athletes that really honestly have not gotten the recognition by the media. And what they've done for the game, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, basketball, doesn't matter. And I decided to go with somebody that recently just passed away. Her name is Lucia Harris. She is before Cheryl Miller, there was Lucia Harris. She went to Delta State University. She was, and they won the three-time AIA national championships. That was before, you had the national championships from 1975 to 1977. She also participated in the 1976 Olympics, where she won a silver medal. And that was the first women's basketball tournament played in the Olympics. She played with the Houston Angels, which at the time was a women's professional basketball league. And she was drafted, I kid you not, in the 7th round, the 137th pick, the New Orleans Jazz selected Lucia Harris. However, unfortunately, she was pregnant and did not attend the training camp. She was picked before 33 players, and that was before they had also drafted Dave Specker, who was drafted in the 8th round. She, again, 1979 to 1980, she just played for the Women's Professional Basketball League in Houston Angels. But, yeah, nothing else happened from that. She just passed away back on the 18th of last month. She was to be 67. She was inducted into the Hall of Fame. She was inducted into the Naismith Hall of Fame in 1994, if I'm saying that correctly. And then in 1999, she was inducted into the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. And she's also in the International Women's Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame, excuse me. She's also in Delta State University's Hall of Fame. So definitely, if you do not know her story, definitely check it out. I have another athlete that I'm going to cover Friday, and y'all let me know your thoughts. But I wanted to start off with her because her story was really wonderful. I had no idea. I did not know this at all up until about a couple months ago. So rest in peace, Ms. Harris. You definitely have paved the way for women's basketball. One can only imagine. I hope she was able to see. One can only imagine just the impact that she's had for women to play basketball. It's all her. Now, fun fact, she was the second one. She's technically the first, but there was somebody named Denise Long, who was the first woman drafted by the San Francisco Warriors. But because there was a violation by the Warriors. By default, Miss Lucia Harris was the first woman to be drafted in the NBA. So rest in peace, Miss Harris. With that being said, let's painfully transition into the NBA and let's painfully recap the Washington Wizards. We played the Grizzlies Friday, and I'll be honest, I don't even know what I said on the Friday's episode. I'm not watching the game, but something was like, well, let me see if they'll come out after blowing a 35-point lead. You know, the 2 days rest, maybe they'll show me a pulse. Didn't see that. John Morant had 34 points. What else happened? Kyle Kuzma was pretty much the only one out there who actually cared about, who showed a pulse. Bradley Beal had an awful game, only had 9 points. KCP had 15. Dinwiddie had 10. We looked lethargic. I don't know what else y'all want me to say in that game. It was completely awful to watch. We looked bad on transition defense. We had no answers for them offensively. It just seems like, to me, we talk about we did things good defensively, but the whole season, going into this whole season, we've struggled making shots. Not one of the worst 3-point shooting teams. That's a fact. And on top of that, you've got guys that can shoot the ball, but they look like deer in headlights. Now, the last time we saw Memphis was on November 5th. We beat them by 28 points. Look different. Now we're tied for. No, I believe Atlanta won that night, and I think we're like 11th place now because we lost to the Bucks. I mean, the biggest things that killed Washington, Memphis scoring in the paint, and in transition, and turnovers. And also, too, Memphis on the glass. So, thank you. And I still don't know why I had to watch that.
So when are we going to say something about it? You know what? I'm going to walk away. I'll be right back because I'm scared I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble because I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
And then tonight was a little better. We lost 112-98.
What the hell was that? I'm pissed off. Get it together. Y'all look like trash.
I mean, there was a small comeback there. Bradley Beal's going to be out for 2 games because he has a wrist injury, so that means he's not going to play against Philadelphia today, which is, today is Wednesday, it's 12:15. Oh, my God. Giannis had a triple-double. This team, man, I don't know. I really don't. Then Thomas Bryant went down he sprained his ankle. Aaron Holiday, he did okay. He only had 3 points in 19 minutes. We had the game. It was 95-94. Spencer Dinwiddie and KCP kind of brought us back. But Milwaukee just had better answers. So unfortunately, this was a better game than the Memphis Grizzlies. But
that's how I feel. Damn sick and tired of getting out rebound.
Let me transition. I forgot to put the Bucks. That's okay. Let me transition because I already know. I can tell you right now, the Washington Wizards are going to lose to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Guaranteed.
Let's transition to NBA news. I don't want to talk about the Wizards. I'm done. I just can't. Now, the trade deadline is less than 8 days away. I believe it was on the 10th. Let me just really confirm that. Hold on. Yes, the 10th. And so far, from what I understood, Ben Simmons could lose up to $32 million if he doesn't play. He's been reportedly been fined so far at 19, and it ain't looking good. So, me personally, I really think that they're going to move on for Ben Simmons. Now, the dunk contest candidates were announced. Let me just make sure I have that up. Let me start with the rising stars first. So, congratulations. If I can find it. Hold on. Wait. I want to make sure I have this right. I don't want to make sure. Here we go. Okay, so this are the rising stars that are going to represent in the NBA All-Star Game this year. The rookies: Cade Cunningham, Josh Giddey, Chris Dart, Ayo Dosunmu, Evan Mobley. I apologize if I butchered that. Evan Mobley, Franz Wagner, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Green, Herbert Jones, Alperen Sengun, Jalen Suggs, Davion Mitchell, LaMelo Ball. This is the sophomores. LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Desmond Bane, Sadiq Bey, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, Jashawn Tate, Cole Anthony, Isaiah Stewart, Jaden McDaniels, Isaac Okorio, and Precious Onchawa. And then the NBA G League Unite: Jalen Hardy, Scoot Henderson, Marjon Burakhamp, and Dyson Daniels. So, not bad. Congratulations to those guys. I'm really happy for LaMelo Ball. I really am, because he definitely is doing big things. The dunk contest has been announced as well. We have Mr. Jalen Green, Obi Toppin, Cole Anthony, and then Mr. Juan. Hold on. I want to make sure I have this right. Mr. Juan Toscano Anderson. That's going to be a pretty interesting slam dunk contest. I hope the rules are still the same. I'm going to hold off on that. So congratulations. I think this is going to be a good All-Star game. I really do. Shout out to J.R. Smith, who's at North Carolina AMU, who got a 4.0 last semester. He got an endorsement deal. So congratulations, JR. Congratulations, doing big things. Jerry West talked about his time with the Lakers, said it was kind of late to kind of make amends for what happened, because he's now with the Clippers. So I was a little surprised to hear that. Because Jerry West, we all know, what the impact that he's had on the game. He's the logo. I'm not sure. I mean, you hate to hear that, and I hope that before he passed away, that there are amends made. So that's really all that's around the NBA. Let's transition to college basketball. Maryland men and women's basketball. Unfortunately, we painfully lost tonight. The fellas, we lost 63-65.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
We just were horrible behind shooting threes. Shooting threes is essential to whooping ass. Excuse my language. We shot 32% from three. Coming into this game, I should say. We shot 417. That's math in my head, 141, math 141, college algebra, 24%. That's Russell was the one that made 2 threes. Great to see him also back in the starting lineup because he definitely had a wrist and hand injury because I know he got hurt against Indiana. Had a good 10 points, 4 rebounds, and one dime piece. Look, we got 9 games left. We're now, with this loss, we've painfully fallen to 500.
What? What? And you got to be kidding me.
We're 500 against ranked teams, and we've now lost 2. We now got next game. We play the 16th ranked school, the Ohio State, at home. No, we had to go to Ohio State, and then we play Iowa, and it just I think this is going to motivate the guys. That stung tonight. I know Sean Spencer and his lovely fiance, Kat Hughes, are going to get on my ass tomorrow. Let's also talk about Indiana. They played right after. They played Sunday. So a couple things. We looked pretty good. I felt like the game was there. We just looked bad. I mean, shooting the ball under 30% and shooting under 25% from the field. I mean, like, most of their shots came from shooting threes. And I mean, their identity since Danny Manning's taken over, the offense runs through the paint. Okay, and he went away from that because, okay, yes, against Indiana, they shot 12 threes. No, not against Indiana, against Rutgers, excuse me. But yes, okay, Indiana, when we played them Sunday night, looks like a completely different team. I mean, we had no post play, which was stale. And then offensive possessions where we're taking bad shots. Like, we attempted in that game 15 threes and made 4 of them. Ladies and gentlemen, that can't happen. Go to what you know what's best. And on top of that, in the first 20 minutes of that game, we were already down 12 points. I mean, just alone throughout the game, Maryland was outscored in the paint by 18. Like, that game was the second game where they shot the most threes and only 6 were made. That can't happen. The way the Maryland Terrapins win basketball games, y'all, is when they slow the game down and when they get inside the paint and make shots. And also, too, when you try to outshoot or do all this extra goofy nonsense, games like this happens. That's a fact. Look at just look at this. Go back and look at the games. Because it's not looking good for March Madness. It's not. This is not. This, to me, this was the game I felt like Maryland, before we lost tonight, Maryland had to win this game. You're coming off wins against Indiana and Rutgers. But now these two games, they dropped the ball. Well, not this. Now, this game was a little different. But you got 9 games left. And then on top, I mean, you got Purdue, Ohio State, and I just, if Maryland gets in there, they're a first round exit. I'm sorry. Let me transition to the ladies as we beat Penn State. Really quick. We won this game. For me, 82-71. This is our 3rd straight win, and a couple things. Now, I had to do some research on Penn State. They run a 2-3 zone, okay? Especially when they're not like transition defense. Now, the last time we beat them, the final score was 106-78. And I do think, I don't know if it was matchups or just trying to just do something against Maryland. Now, in that game, Penn State did a horrible job on defense. I mean, where you're leaving girls at the foul line. The foul line was open. It was so obvious of that. They had Mimi Collins in there coming off bench to take advantage of that. I'm just sitting there going like, they're exposing this defense. They're exposing it. And I'm sitting here going like, oh, okay. Like, the last time we played them, because I mean, I have my notes. Allie Biggingham didn't play. Mimi Collins had 10 points in the first half. Chloe Bibby had 11 points in the first half. But they had 48 points. I mean, just inside the paint. It just didn't work. I think the Lions. The Lions had no answers for them. Now, when we faced Penn State back on the 6th, we turned the ball over 20 times. No, I'm sorry. They turned the ball over 20 times, excuse me. And then again, if you're going to beat teams like Maryland, UConn, South Carolina, and those teams, yeah, you can't do that. And just in the first half alone, they turned the ball over 15 times. And those 15 turnovers turned into 17 points. Thank you very much. Now, I'll say this. Penn State, they had a good game decently in the first half. They made 52% of their shots. And on top of that, where the Lady Terps only shot 42. Now, if you take half of those turnovers, 15, if you take about 8 of those turnovers away, that makes a difference for Penn State. But going into the third quarter, they had already turned the ball over 20 times. They finished the game, I think, with 24, which was bad. Now, I told you that was to me the identity for the Lady Terps, their balanced scoring attack. I'm talking Angel Reese, Chloe Bibby, who else? Mimi Collins, Ashley Wansu. I mean, Ashley didn't really have that great of a game. She only had 2 points. I'm gonna leave that alone. That is their identity. Now, the way the Lady Terps play is unselfish basketball, and that's and to me, I can contribute that to why they won 3 straight games. Now, I'm not. Let me just look at the rankings real quick, because I know a lot of people were like, "Why is Maryland still like where they're at?" I mean, let's keep it real. I mean, we are 17, so I'm hoping these last 3 games push us up in the rankings. Hopefully, around the top 15. Crossing fingers. But again, the rotation also too was small. Like, I know Mimi, I think Mimi Collins, somebody, I can't remember who was dealing with a groin injury. And also there's some other nagging injuries. I think it might have been, no, it was Mimi Collins. I know she's battled some injuries. And she definitely stepped up. She really did. And also too, that rotation is small. They only are using like seven girls. So I'm really happy. It was a great win. The next game we play, and I'll talk about that for the women Friday, because we play Michigan State. So just painful. Just painful for the men to lose that game. It was rigged. Let's transition to Towson Basketball. The men, they just are coming off of a suspended game against Delaware. They started because what happened in the arena was moisture, so they had to suspend the game. They beat Drexel University 66-62. On Thursday, they play Hofstra. That's in New York. The Tigers are on a 2-game win streak. They're a better home team. They're 8-2, but they're also 7-3 on the road. They're 500, 1-1 neutral. They're going into the game against Hofstra 16-6. They're 7-2 in the conference and could actually make a March Madness appearance.
Guaranteed.
Okay, I also want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to the Lady Tigers. We were coming off, which has been kind of a crazy schedule. We beat Northeastern University 86-81. And we also had Hofstra Sunday. We beat them 86-45. That was a blowout. The Lady Terps going into this, we're on a 3-game win streak. We're 500 away from home. We're 2-0 against neutral opponents. We're 15-4. We're on a 3-game winning streak. Our next game is William and Mary on Friday. Let's just check out William and Mary really quick, because they're going to be in Williamsburg, Virginia. Okay, let me just click basketball. They're 6-12. They are in a 3-game losing streak. They're actually a better home team. They're 500 on the year, and they're actually not that great of a team on the road. They're 2-8. They're 1-6 in the conference. Their best win, they actually just lost in double overtime to Drexel University, 67-75. Their best win was against Randolph College. That was week 2 of the season, where they embarrassed Randolph College. 83-31. Their probably most disappointing loss was against James Madison, where they got demolished 76-39. The Lady Tigers are going to beat William and Mary 85-47. Oh, 47.
Guaranteed.
Really quick, I need to go back to the men, the Tigers for the men. We play. I want to make sure we play Hofstra. That's a Thursday game. I say we're going to beat them. I'm looking along the lines of 84-70.
Guaranteed.
So actually, I'll be honest, the men and women Tigers, you could see them both in March Madness. I'm really proud of both teams looking really, really well. You actually could see them in March Madness. So go Tigers. So let's transition to the last topic of the show, WNBA. A couple things that did happen. We're now today, February 1st, marked free agency day, where we could sign, where anyone can sign, where it was announced. And Washington Mystics, baby, 2022 champions. Let's get it.
Guaranteed.
We made some moves. Tiana Hawkins is coming back after a year in Atlanta. I really don't know why. It's good. It's glad to have her. She's back home. I'm disappointed that the way that happened in Atlanta to get waived like that. I thought she brings championship experience. She can stretch the floor. She's a good defender, tenacious rebounder. University of Maryland. Okay. We assigned Elizabeth Williams, and that pretty much signals the end of the Tina Charles era in the nation's capital.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
And then on top of that, Emma Masonman signed with the Chicago Sky.
I'm not going to even sit here and act like I didn't know this was coming. Or act like I know this was coming because I did it.
Couple things. I'm not surprised with Tina. When Tina Charles was traded here, she didn't play 2020 because of, obviously, the pandemic. Then she comes into this year hoping to win a champion, having championship aspirations. I don't think it was on anybody's radar for Tina Charles to be the NBA scoring champion. I mean, WNBA scoring champion. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say that. I was not expecting her to carry the load at times offensively. And also too, she wants to win a ring. She's made that clear. And me honestly, truthfully saying, I wish she would have come back, at least run it back one more year, because her and a healthy Elena Delle Donne, those two are there. I would have loved to see that, but that's not going to happen, sadly. For what it all seems like, Tina Charles is going to be with the Phoenix Mercury, which even stings more because now that you're the Mystics, you traded three picks, and all you have to show for is one and done, and you didn't make the playoffs.
So when are we going to say something about it? You know what? I'm going to walk away. I'll be right back because I'm scared I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble because I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
So I wish Tina Charles all the best. Fun fact, we share the same birthday. I just wish she'd just come back one more year, run it back with us. But I was on the record, and I just didn't. The way this team looked, I still feel like it should be in a kind of rebuilding mode, but he's running it back like it's 2019. My only concern is I'm talking long term. I'm looking at teams like Vegas, Dallas, New York, even like they're built for the next 5-8 years easily. So I wish Tina all the best. Emma Misa, playoff Emma, played her ass off in that finals against Connecticut. I felt like it was time to move on. I just was not fond of, okay, last year not coming back at all. And I feel like her signing with Chicago, I think kind of let me know truly, I think, where I think we were with her going forward. He even talked about after we had lost to the Lynx, to try to get into the playoffs. He was just like, I'm paraphrasing it, but he was kind of like, I don't know if you'll see Emma back. But I mean, she does have commitments to the Belgian, or she's from Belgium, the national team, and then the FIBA World Cup last year. Trying to balance both. I mean, she didn't play 2018 and she didn't play last year. That's tough. I mean, when he came to DC, what was that, 2013? Yeah, she was drafted in the. She was behind Taylor Hill. But going forward, I like Maisha Hines-Allen. We brought her back. I wish Emma all the best in Chicago. They're getting a great player and a champion. So I wish her all the best. Ann Walters, former Mystic, got her girl.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
So I and then on Elizabeth Williams, I think that's a great pickup for us. Definitely, I was actually kind of thrown off by the addition. I'm like, Elizabeth Williams from the Atlanta Dream? Like, oh, okay. Hey, Coach T, like that's a good move. Elizabeth Williams, she definitely brings a skill set that I feel like is very underrated. She's a good rebounder, shot blocker. Communication to me on defense is really good, and she controls the lanes defensively. I like that. She could run the floor because she's overseas with Kelsey, Kayla McBride, Setu Sabli, Amanda Zari B. She's over there with them, and she's actually having a good year so far in Turkey. So I'm really happy. I'm looking forward to her being here. Really quick, she averages a little under 6 points a game, a little under 5 rebounds, about maybe an assist and a half, 1 steal, and about, I'll say, a block and a half a game last year with Atlanta. She also shot a little under 52%. And obviously she went to that school, Duke University. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Definitely. She also made the all-defensive team in 2020, most improved player 2016. She's also the 4th Mystic. That was on the defensive team. Ariel Atkins, Alicia Clark, and T Cloud, Tosh Cloud. So she was picked by the Connecticut Sun with the 4th overall pick in 2015. Really quick, who was in her draft? I want to take a gander. I did talk about this. Jewel Lloyd was the 1st overall pick. Oh gosh, that's who it was. Okay. Okay, this was the year we picked Allie Maylott. Something told me, I was like, just go, just really quick. Let's just pull that draft up. She was drafted because then after her, Cheyenne Parker, De'Erica Hamby, Crystal Bradford was in that draft too. She actually just she's supposed to get a training camp contract with Chicago. Big ups to her. Brittany Boyd, Isabel Harrison, Kia Stokes, Rashonda Gray, Benijah Laney. That's who we passed up on and drafted Allie Maylott. Oh, my Lord. I'm not letting that go. I'm sorry. So, and also too, in the same sentence, Elena Deladon is ready to play ball. There was a conference earlier today. She's saying that she's feeling great. She did talk about that. She was scared about playing. The last 2 years have been definitely kind of tough. She was just paraphrasing it, like she was thinking about if she ever play ball again. But she said she's not felt pain for months and she's ready to get back on the court. Because she's been working with the trainer for the Wizards, who's the trainer for the Wizards and the Mystics as well. Who also gets. I gotta give a shout out to the training staff on that. Now, she only played 3 games last year because she got back surgery, and her first year. Her last full year was 2019. That's when we won the chip. So again, I was really hoping, and it was good, bro. You were just in time. We're about to end the show. I was really hoping that they would have run it back with Tina Charles, because a healthy Tina Charles and a healthy Elena Deladon instantly WNBA finals. But that's not happening.
Relationship with your
Oh
children.
my God.
And again, I'm still kind of hoping he addressed the bench. He loves Megan Gustafson. I cannot tell you how many times we've heard the preaching of Megan Gustafson. He brought her back. I'm happy. I think she had a fair season. I feel like the potential is there for her to grow with the team. So I wish her nothing but the best. Now, really quick, the Mystics had signed really quick. I think it was a training camp contract. And she's from South Korea, excuse me. Let me find it real quick. I'm trying to figure out who she is. Because I was like, who is this? Hold on. Let's do this. I can't find it. But apparently we had signed to a training camp contract. She's from South Korea. She's probably like one of the best 3-point shooters in the game, particularly for basketball. So maybe I missed something on that, but I'll follow up on that. So I'm still hoping out. Hope had to make less winter weather. So because of the storm. Yeah, this winter weather really is just been just really crazy. So do what you got to do, man. I understand. Well, that's make sure you got all your food, batteries, all that, different things like that. Because this winter, whoo, watch out, man eater. Now they probably could go after a free. Hold on, let me just look at their salary cap, because I don't think they have now. I don't think we don't have the money. I think we have a little under 70,000. I want to say like around 60,000. Now that we made made our moves. Yes, her name is Kang Lee Soo. She's 40. Did not know that. Okay. And we brought back Kiera Lundquist. Okay. Because she's actually been with the Mystics before. She was actually suspended last season for the Mystics. We did retain her rights because I think it was because she was overseas at the time. We still had her rights. So, because she's from Sweden and they were participating in the Euro Basketball League last year. So, kind of see where she's going to be at with the team next year. I think the signings are good. Now we still got a little under 125,000 left. I would like the Washington Mystics to really address getting a center, and there is a center out there, and her name is Kalani Brown. Please sign her because we need some paint presence other than besides to help Elizabeth come off the bench maybe. They're probably most likely. If me personally, if I was a GM, I would also look to give Alana Coates another try. I felt like that experiment was good. I don't know. Coach T's it's interesting with this move. I would give her a training camp contract just to see what she could look like coming into the season, going into the season. Then we got the first overall pick. My guess, Ryan Howard.
Guaranteed.
Out of Kentucky. So the Washington Mystics, we definitely made some moves. So, and also two packs. I don't know why he stole those secret files off Coach T's desk like that. Oh my God. Let's also look at the rest of the WNBA as well. Brianna Stewart and Jewel Lloyd have decided to return back to Seattle. Brianna Stewart agreed to a 1-year Supermax contract deal with the Storm. I think it's like $227,000 and change, if I remember that correctly. Because I think the max for a contract for this year is $228,000, if I'm saying that correctly. It looks like they're going to run it back one more time with Sue, because Sue Bird's made it clear this is her last year. Just really quick, this is just how I feel. Brianna Stewart next season will be with the New York Liberty.
Guaranteed.
That's just me. And then Jewel Lloyd, she also had brought it back. So it looks like they're going to run it back. We'll see after that. Sylvia Follows. I'm sad. I really am. This will be her 15th and final season. Wow. I don't really know how to feel about that. Like, the one thing that I will say, I'm glad you're going out. One thing I want this is not with just her. This is with any athlete. I want these guys to go out at the top, not when you're not the same player or you're just like, it's time for you to move on. She had her best year of basketball last year. She averaged 16 points a game. She almost averaged 2 blocks, 2 steals, 10 rebounds. She was defensive player of the year. That was her 4th. And that's what Tamika Catchings has that many as well. So she's the only player with 4 defensive players a year. And she also made the top 25. So that's WNBA top 25 players within 25 seasons. First ballot Hall of Famer in my book. I mean, let me just give you her stats. 2-time champion, 2 times final MVP, MVP 2017, 7-time All-Star, 3-time All-NBA first team, 4-time All-WNBA second team, 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, 7-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3-time All-Defensive second team Player of the Year, league leader in blocks twice, rebounding champion twice, made the All-Rookie team, and also to just really she was SEC Player of the Year. If Anthony Handy is still in the comments, he should know what school she went to, because he is the SEC guy. She's also won. She's a 2-time Turkish Cup winner, a 2-time WCBA champion. She played overseas in China, and then also 2 EuroLeague champion and Europe Super Cup winner. So the stats speak for itself. So and also too, they signed Angela McCoughtry. So that when I saw that stung, because I like Sylvia Follows. I do, because when it was her and Elena Deladon in Chicago, and when that team broke up, I was like, the Minnesota Lynx are getting a great player, and man, they just didn't look back. So it's going to be a good year. Who's that again? Sylvia Follows. And no cheating. What else happened? Jonquel Jones. I knew we weren't getting Jonquel Jones once I saw we signed Tiana Hawkins, Shatori Walker Cameron was coming back, and Elizabeth Williams. I was really kind of hoping Jonquel would come back, but she's staying in Connecticut.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
They also signed Courtney Williams, who I do think definitely helps their backcourt. Because the biggest thing was, I would say, perimeter shooting. That was the key. That's the missing piece of the puzzle last year. Because they're there, and also too, you get a healthy Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner, and Jonquel Jones. Don't sleep on Brianna Jones too. This team is going to be dangerous this season.
Guaranteed.
What else? Oh, Brianne January, she signed with the Seattle Storm. I was actually kind of surprised. I was hoping the Mystics would sign her, because if the way that the team's looking, it's like all first team defense. So I would have liked to have seen that. What else? Let's look. Let's just make sure we have everything else. Kia Vaughn got traded to the Atlanta Dream for a 3rd-round pick in next year's WNBA draft. Because, again, the Phoenix Mercury are trying to clean up. Hold on. What do we got here? I had to cheat. Anthony, that's a shame. Never follow college basketball like that. Okay. Cap space, because I think what Phoenix is trying to do, if they get Diamond DeShields and Tina Charles, that's going to be interesting. That really is going to be interesting. Nia Coffey is also going to the Atlanta Dream as well, which not bad. So we'll see where that goes. So, Sophie Cunningham is also staying in Phoenix, and Kia Nurse is going to be back too. The Phoenix Mercury, wants to get Kia Nurse back, and if they can get Tina Charles, and if they get Diamond DeShields, yeah, that team is going to go to the WNBA Finals.
Guaranteed.
Maybe I should have held off on that. I don't want to jinx them. But no, seriously. It's off to a chaotic but fun start for free agency. Kalia Copper, she's going to stay in Chicago. It's going to be a multi-year deal. So I think to me that's good for this decor for Chicago. Now, let's transition into another topic. Liz Cambage. Liz Cambage was on Twitter. Posted a tweet. And I'll be honest. I think people have to read before we make comments. This is what Liz said on Twitter. And I quote, yes, at the WNBA, where a head coach can get paid 4 times the highest paid player's Supermax contract. Laugh my ass off. Y'all think I'm going to spend another season upgrading my seat on a flight to get to games out of my own pocket? The reason why she said that, haha, that's funny. I said who that, not realizing I was close. Oh my gosh, Anthony. Becky Hammond, who was hired as the next head coach, and I need to make sure I have this right too. Okay, it just says head coach. She also says she's the GM, the head coach and GM for the Las Vegas Aces. Her salary average is going to be $1 million. That's 4 times than what Brianna Stewart's going to get or anyone that signed the max contract. That's an issue. And that really quick, I thought that little special they had on ESPN tonight where with Coach Peck, Carolyn Peck shot to her, Holly Rowe, LaChina Robinson, and I cannot remember what time I had. I'm sorry. I cannot remember the other who it was on the fourth person. I cannot remember her name. I really apologize. First and foremost, I thought that was poor. Not them, but I thought just them being on ESPN for 30 minutes, not an hour, I thought that was a slap in the face. It's almost kind of like you're at a restaurant, right? And the waiter comes and brings your food on a trash can lid. That's what it looked like. That's what it felt like to me. I'm looking at others on Twitter that they need to get. I mean, they could have done better. Not saying Holly Rowe, LaChina, Coach Peck are not doing, but it's just like ESPN, really. But I just wanted to point that out. I thought it was. I didn't like it. Holly Rowe did bring up the tweet, and if you actually read the tweet, what Liz is saying is not wrong. When you have 2 teams, and I talked about this on the podcast with Connecticut and last season with Connecticut and Chicago, having to take 3 flights because they don't want to sit in middle class, they should have flights, a private flight. They should have a private flight. When you got Bill Lambier coming out and talking about the hotel accommodations are poor, you got to wait 20 minutes to get food. And also, people are not abiding by the mass regulations in a hotel. When you're seeing the Washington Mystics sitting at the airport, what are we doing? Like, what this shows me that this is exactly where there is a disconnect between, okay, we're not investing in the players. And also, too, you look at the contracts. Check this out, right? I brought up earlier, really quick. I'm going to educate y'all on something. Now, I'm using Washington Mystics, for example. Our highest paid player is Elena Deladon. Her base salary is $227,000. Sorry, that's 18% of the cap. Elena Deladon does not get any incentives for if she makes the All-Star team, if she finishes in the top 3 for MVP, all first team, even if she was Rookie of the Year. None of these 144 women have any incentives in their contract. Not one. I could bring up Diana Taurasi. I could bring up Lexi Brown. I could bring up Taya Cooper. And I'm not talking about getting endorsements off the field. I'm talking off the court. I'm talking about incentives in the game. Like if you make the playoffs, like Odell Beckham Jr., right? He's going to get probably almost $2 million of incentives because why? He made the playoffs, X, Y, and Z. You know, when you sign that contract, Antonio Brown, for example, if he got like a certain amount of catches, he'd have gotten this and that money. No, I apologize. It's $227,000. I cannot get it out. I'm sorry, but y'all know what I'm talking about. That is an issue, and really quick, I had to screenshot this because I had to do my research. Really quick, let me bring up the screenshots because again, I want to make sure that I saw that I saw this right. Google Photos. Okay, now, according to CBA, it is in there. Travels within a pandemic, that's still an issue. Okay, salary cap limitations that stand out when measured against wages between players, that's a problem. Front office and head coach. Like, are we paying to see coaches or are we paying to see players? Like, but hell, you're barely even breaking even if you live in the DMV. Oh, that's very true. That's very true. Because this CBA, like, I think that's a slap in the face. I'm sorry. I really do. Because it's like, why are we not investing in the players? Like, I get it. Mark Davis, yes, he signed, he gave her that contract. But Mark Davis also, I'm not saying this correctly, make sure I have this right. I don't want to sound like, I don't want to give any misinformation. Mark Davis owns them. So you mean to tell me Asia Wilson can't get a contract like that? Like it's just to me, like, that's a shame for real. For really though, I know owners are making monies off these sponsorships. Exactly, and it's just like we shouldn't have players paying money out their pockets to upgrade their seats. Now I understand. Now the first time, because Liz, she sat out a year. I think she sat out a season because of the same thing. I think she was making it was like around $90,000 at the time, and she was like, "Yeah, this is not helping me pay my bills." I'm just paraphrasing that. Now I get it. But this is unfortunate. And now I see why Diana Taurasi sat out, because the team she played for at the time in Russia, did she play for a Russian basketball team? I see why they paid her more money than to be back with Phoenix. Now I see why. Liz Cambage was not wrong. And on that, we can point the finger at, we can say, hey, Kathy Engelberg, this is what we're trying to talk about. But you've had other presidents, 2 before Kathy. This should have been addressed. It should have been. Now, again, this is why before we talk about expanding to Oakland or Toronto, these kind of things need to be addressed. Because if I'm seeing that, Becky Cambage can get $1 million, and I'm here making 4 times. I'm making 4 times less than that. Yeah, I'm kind of going to feel some kind of way with it, because the question is, are you paying to see Becky Hammond, or are you paying to see me? Not a shot at Becky Hammond, because I think she's going to be a great coach for the Las Vegas Aces. I understand she is coming back. She was under the great Greg Popovich, but I'm not feeling the fact that Mark Davis owns the Las Vegas Aces. Oh my gosh, these ownership groups, you've got to be kidding me. Let me find something else real quick. I had another screenshot. I got so many damn photos on my phone, it's not even funny. I need to delete most of this stuff. I just this CBA to me is just so backwards. That's all I'm gonna say, and I really do hope that it is addressed. But that's crazy. Like, Liz Cambage said nothing wrong, and this is just another obstacle that has to be fixed. Invest if we all want the league to grow. My question is, how come we're not investing in players? Like, what is the issue? Like, it's okay to pay bums in the NBA all this money, but you can't give Liz Cambage, Asia Wilson, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Tina. I'm trying to think of some other names. Nafisa Collier. Invest in them. Like, I get it that it was their prerogative to sign her, but these 144 women they got to be taken care of more. It's got to be done better. And I'm not saying that the current CBA that is in effect is not enough for the women. 'Cause I think it is, because there are things that have been added, like the women that who say if they're in the league that are pregnant, they're still getting paid. They're still taken care of. They still got the benefits, all that. But I don't like that. And on top of that, too, like someone like Diamond DeShields, who made under $60,000 last year alone, where she should have gotten an incentive for winning a championship, or like, for example, Candace Parker making an all-star team, Brianna Jones making an all-star team, and also winning Most Improved Player of the Year. Should get incentives.
So when are we going to say something about it? You know what? I'm going to walk away. I'll be right back because I'm scared I'm going to say something that might get me in trouble. Because I'm pissed. I'm pissed.
I'm pissed. You know, I'm going to just keep it brief because I want to close it out with Athletes Unlimited. It's a great first week of basketball for the women. I am honestly and truthfully loving this. If you guys have not seen this, you guys are missing out. It's great basketball. Really enjoying it. At first, I was a little a little skeptical, but after like the first two games, it looks great. Really quick, I just want to recap. Team Carrington did beat Team Sims 84-78. Really quick, let me just pull up the box score. I believe it was Isabel Harrison led the way with 19 points for Team Carrington. And for Team Sims, Ozzie Sims led the way with 24. And Kalani Brown with 20 points. So Team Russell beat Team Mitchell 79-71. Mercedes Russell led the way with 20 points. Team Mitchell, your leading scorer was Kelsey Mitchell and Al Airhorn. Am I saying that right? I want to say Airhorn, yes. So Airhorn, not Airhorn, Airhorn, excuse me. I apologize. Imani McGee Stafford is back. Courtney Williams is back because they were like on the COVID protocol list, so they're back. So we had week 2 of the draft. Really quick, I just wanted to recap that. So your new team captains for week 2 are Team Blue, Team Isabel Harrison, Lexi Brown, Team Orange, Latasha Cloud, Team Gold, and Mercedes Russell, Team Purple. Really quick, I just want to go over who they drafted as individuals. So Team Isabel's Team Harrison, Kirby Burkholder, Brittany Carter, Jantel Lavender, Akila Mazzei, Danielle Elmacrae, Chelsea Phillips, Takara Ross, Odyssey Sims, Courtney Williams, and then Dominique Wilson. Lexi Brown, Essence Carson, Taj Cole, who is having actually a pretty good seat, is turning some heads. She should get a WNBA opportunity. Kiki Herbert Harrigan, Tiana Hawkins, Air Hearn, Brianna Jackson, Jessica Custer, Shannon McCollum, Imani McGee Stafford, and Becca Wayne Taylor. Those are Team Harrison and Team Brown. Now, this game, ladies and gentlemen, is coming on tomorrow this evening on YouTube at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're on the West Coast, I'm thinking that's 3:30? Yes. And then we have Team Cloud versus Team Russell. Now, they're going to be on something called Rally Sports RSN. I've never saw that before. So I'm going to look into that, and I think I should be able to access this game. So really quick, just to recap their draft, Team Cloud, she drafted Kalani Brown, Major Butler, Dejanay Carrington, Drew Edelman, Grace Hunter, Lauren Manis, Lauren Mincy, Tina Roy, Destiny Walker, and Ty Young. For Team Russell, Cece Anderson, Antoinette Bannister, Sydney Colston, Nikki Green, Rebecca Harris, Mimi Jackson, Takoya Larry, Danny McCray, Kelsey Mitchell, and Antoinette Thompson. So how it works is each week, because if I'm saying this correctly, I think the top leading scorers were Lexi, Natasha, Isabel, and Mercedes. I think Jantel Lavender was like fifth. Let me just make sure I want to make sure I had that right. Yeah, she was fifth, and then Danny McCray, Taj Cole, Mimi Jackson. Kalani Brown actually she moved up. She was like from 12th to 9th. So those are in the top 4. They are your team captains for next week because we got technically this is week 2 of the league. So you got 3 more weeks. So how it works is the points. Hold on. I got to give a shout out to this is how she explained it to me. I want to make sure I have this right. Okay, so it's based on points, rebounds, steals, and blocks. So it's an individual point system. So each player will get points every quarter if their team's leading and points when their teams win. So I think it's like 250 points if the team wins. And then, yeah, that's how it works. So the top 4 with the most points, they're your team captains for that week. So those are your 4 for week 2. Really quick, I got to pull out the guarantee. Let's see. We got team. I'm going to say Team Brown beats Team Harrison. $82-74.
Guarantee.
Team Cloud versus Team Russell. Team Cloud 75-69.
Guarantee.
And then we got the game on the 4th. That's Friday. So that's going to be on Fox Sports. Team Russell versus Team Brown. I want to say Team Russell beats Team Brown. Ooh. $80-77.
Guarantee.
So that's going to be week 2. So definitely check out Athletes Unlimited, game 1 of week 2, game 7 of week 2. Team Harris versus Team Brown tomorrow on YouTube at 6:30. Then the second game is at 9 o'clock. Team Cloud versus Team Russell. Then on Friday, Team Russell versus Team Brown. That's on Fox Sports 2. You can check out the information for Athletes Unlimited. They got all the different plans, different things like that. Because you got the pro plan, the MVP plan, and the captain plan. So definitely check this league out. It's exceeded my expectations, and it looks legit, and I'm all for it. I cannot wait for tomorrow. Great basketball, and with that being said, I want to close out. Again, I gotta give a shout out to my guy, my Sean Spencer and Janae Strother, because they've definitely have been given the great word. They have this segment on their show. It comes on every Monday, 6:30. Let's Talk Football with Sean Spencer and Janae Strother. And the last 2 episodes, y'all, they've been powerful. I'm gonna just say they've been very powerful. Now, really quick, if you have not seen my testimony in the last episode, no, not this, the previous episode, check that out. It's timestamped. Let me get the video prepared, and we're going to end out on that. Now, I'll be back on Friday, same time. The goal is to be on by 10:30, 10 o'clock. That's my goal. So let me just try to make sure I have it right. Here we go. So sit back, enjoy it. I will see y'all on Friday, and have a safe, wacky Wednesday. We're now over the hump. It's hump day, y'all. Well, now it's 1:26 in the morning. I need to go to bed. So y'all have a good night. Enjoy the video.
you can ever have. The down and dirty, baby. The down and dirty. Man, with me and Sean, just to get to talk about just anything that's on our mind, football, not football, whatever we want to talk about. Man, Sean, what is your down and dirty for today?
You know, I was talking to Felicia, you know, our dear friend, Miss Hawkins.
Yes.
You know, and she and I was talking to her about everything we got going on and sitting there, and she kind of mimicked some of the things that you were saying, that not everybody is for everything that you for, you know, and not everybody is on the same page with your stuff. You gotta be careful, like you said, to share your stuff with them.
Absolutely.
And you know, and I was telling her, you know, we do a football group and this and that. She said, I don't know football, but let me give you this. He said, you're on the offense, right? What you trying to do? You're trying to take that ball and you're trying to score. You're trying to get to your goal, huh? Yeah. He said, and sometimes your goal, then you have, that defense wants it. That defense gets up early in the morning to make sure that they shut you down.
Yeah.
They will sit there and try to intercept. They will try to tackle. They will try to cheap shot. They will try to go low. They will do a whole bunch of that stuff. But now we're not left alone in this, because we have a head coach, huh?
Yeah.
We have a playbook, huh? We have coordinators and specific people put in specific places to help you along that way. And we have to know that, hey, not every game that you go out is going to be a victory. Not every time that you go on the field and you could do everything right, but sometimes you're going to lose.
Right. You're right.
But it's not about what I know I say it all the time. It's not about getting that early start. It's not about sitting there and getting some early success, but it's about the continued effort to keep going. A season is a long season. We all know that. And now it's even longer this year with 18 weeks in the season. There's a bunch of us that thought, oh, this team's going to the Super Bowl because they had a great early start. Remember last year, the Steelers went 11-0, and everybody thought, oh, they definitely are going to have success. But see, we don't know about the stuff that's going on in the background. Absolutely. We don't know about how sometimes what looks shiny in front of you might be broken down, but just dolled up to make it look nice. Don't get all caught up in what you see on Facebook and on Instagram and Twitter, this and that. You run your race. And God put people around you for a specific reason. And there are some people that's main reason is to come in here and make sure that you do not succeed. But see, God has got you in a place where if you keep your eyes on that finish line, if you keep your head right to where you're supposed to be going, you're going to go through some stuff. But if you keep going, come on now, go back to the story you were telling. If you keep going, you eventually get that prize. And in the NFL, that prize is the Super Bowl trophy, huh? For us, that prize is, making it on high. We need to continue to rely on those that are around us, that are helping us, okay? But B, we got to make sure that we keep putting one foot in front of the other. I know what it looks like. I went through it. I'm prime example. It didn't look good. I couldn't see in front of my face. I couldn't see any of that. But thank God I had people like Janae that sat there and said, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry. You heard about this story about the footprints in the sand? When you're sitting there walking, you're like, God, well, why is there only one set of footprints? Because that's when I was carrying you. See, the thing is, God places people in our lives to carry us and to help us through, okay? But we got to make sure we are receptive. We are make sure we are willing to go and make sure we are following what the playbook says that we're supposed to be doing. So keep your eyes on where you're going. Keep your eyes on that direction. And yes, there will be times when you might get deterred. You might have to take a detour. You might have to do this. But if you keep focused on what you're supposed to and you keep going in that direction, I believe it's going to end well. I absolutely do. In fact, I guarantee it.
Guarantee it. Nathan, you hear that? Guarantee. Man, absolutely, Sean. I think that is beautiful. Absolutely. Keep your eye on the prize, man. My down and dirty is change your attitude. A lot of people wonder why they start the day off mad and that they don't. They never picks up. They wonder why it's not turning around. It's not. It's just going to be a bad day all day. And I'm going to complain about the traffic, and I'm going to complain about my job. I'm going to complain about coming home. I'm just going to complain and I'm going to complain. But when's the last time you actually woke up and was grateful for waking up and just happy just to start your day? I want to challenge each and every person that's on this live with us. I want you guys to start challenging yourselves to wake up with a positive attitude. Hey, I know I'm getting ready to sit in this traffic, but let me put on something on the radio that's going to pick me up and start my day good. I know work and my boss is going to be on me, but you know what? Let me go into work with a whole new attitude, and maybe my good attitude will rub up on my boss's attitude and rub up on my coworker's attitude, and that we all just have a great day. And I may have thought I was going to come into work and it feel like a horrible day, but it's going to be a good day today. How about stop complaining about the problems that you have when you know you can't fix it. You know that, this is a problem that I have, but you can't fix it. There's nothing that you can do to fix it. You need to rely on a person that can fix it. But you know that you cannot control the day. You cannot control the day with negativity. You cannot control the day with anger. You cannot expect positive out of mad. You can't expect these things. But if you wake up happy, if you wake up talking like it's like today is going to be a good day, put some positivity in the air, play some music that'll get you bopping your head in the morning, play something that's going to get you some positive energy. If you have to listen to somebody that does encouragement, why don't I do that? You got to start changing the way you wake up. If you wake up mad, why not tomorrow? Let's try to wake up a different way. Let's wake up, and as soon as we start to feel mad, start thinking about the people who are on ventilators in the hospital who don't have an opportunity to say they are happy or that they are glad. They don't even have an opportunity because they're sick right now. Think about those people who are dead in their grave right now, who wish they had an opportunity one day just to say, man, I feel good. I'm just so happy. Imagine all of those sad, angry people right now in the grave. That could be you.
Yeah.
You want to be a happy person. You don't want to be out here. If you're going to just call it a quits, you might as well go now. You don't have to start your day like that. You can end it on a beautiful note. But if you continue to just be sad, if you continue to let your mind dictate what's going to happen, that's what your day is going to be. But I want you guys to start changing the mindset of how you wake up. Let's start the day grateful. Exactly, Mrs. Spencer. Let's start the day happy just because you woke up. And if you got to talk to somebody in your family, be grateful that they woke up. If you hear about somebody's good news, just be happy off of that. Sometimes it's not you being happy off of what's happening in your life. Why not be happy for what's going on in somebody else's life? There are things to be happy about, but we have to choose to think about those things when sad takes over. So my message to everybody is, change your mindset of the negativity and the anger and the things that you can't control. You're not going to be able to control those people around you. You're not going to be able to control those crazy drivers. But if you stay positive, you can control yourself. Don't get angry. Don't cuss the person out that's cutting you off. Just stay positive, because those things will dictate your day and mess you up for the rest of the day. Stay positive, stay happy. And the things that you see when that driver sees you and sees you not getting mad, I'm sorry, I accidentally spilled something on my lap. Oh, it's okay, no problem. One pen, you don't mind. Oh, your coworker starts to act up, or your boss starts to act up. You hit him with a smile. You hit him with the, yes, I'll do what you need me to do. I'll do it with a smile. And when they see the change on you, they can start to change themselves. Remember, you are a person that people look at. Each and every one of us, somebody looks at us. And if they're looking at us, you want them to see, you want to exude out of your body what they need to see. And they need to see happiness. They need to see all of this stuff. And sometimes you are sad, and there's nothing wrong with that. But remember that those sad days can't last always. There's some days where you need to wake up and just be grateful that you're here. Just be grateful that you have another opportunity to get it right. Because I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in their grave right now that wish they have an opportunity to get it right, but it's too late. It's not too late for us, ladies and gentlemen. We can wake up and change our day. We can change our attitude. We can change the people around us. We can set the atmosphere that when you walk into the room, people feel a calm. People feel like, wow, this is something changed on Janae. This is something changed on Sean. Wow, What has started his day off right? And it's because I chose to start my day off right. I didn't choose to wake up angry. And when I did, I turned myself around. I put on a song, 'cause I'm happy, clap along. Something that's going to make me feel good, because I don't want to start my day negative. And my challenge to you guys for 2022 is to start changing your attitude in the morning and just make your day as positive as you can make it. Because if so, nobody else will. You change the attitude and watch things change around you.
Come on now. Come on now. And you have just been at Church Strother. Pastor Strother on the mic.
There's positivity in the atmosphere. You can change the things around you. You got to put it out there. If you look mad and you look angry, people ain't going to want to talk to you. They ain't want to approach you. And when you talk to them, it may come off as like you got an attitude, and before you know it, you're bickering over no reason. You guys got to change your attitude about situations, because some things you can't change other than yourself. Exude positivity, because I'm telling you, if you start using that mindset, people can't dictate your day. People can't ruin your day. Only you can ruin your day, because you're allowing them to mess up your day. You keep a positive attitude and smile even when you don't see nobody watching. You just smile, because there's things that you have to be grateful for. If you woke up, that means you got something to do. Remember, be grateful. Be grateful. Wake up with a positive attitude. Just wake up and just be happy that you're still here, that you have another opportunity. Remember, I'm telling you, I can say it a million times. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. You do. So make sure that you make the best of it. Start your day off with positivity.
Yeah. I know everybody need to hear it. I need to hear it. Cat need to hear it.
Yes,
you know?
all of us. Because
it's necessary.
It's a constant thing. We can always, when things get in routine and you get tired of what you're doing and stuff starts to get you down, it starts to affect your mindset. And when your attitude is that, if your attitude can be swayed that fast, imagine how you look to other people. You may not even be, in a bad situation, but you're just bitter over something that you can't control. Remember, keep your attitude positive, and I guarantee that things will change throughout the day. Just keep your attitude happy, and things will change throughout the day. Try to change your attitude, because that's the way to really make it out here.
Amen. Absolutely. Hey.
Okay. So with that being said, that's going to conclude episode 18. We're now 2 hours and 30 minutes and over, but I wanted to play that for y'all. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate those that were in the comments. Comment, like, and subscribe. That's greatly appreciated. Check me out. I'm on every Tuesday, every Friday. Let me know your thoughts. I will have every episode going forward timestamped. So let me know your thoughts on this episode. I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of the week. Stay safe. Stay safe. I will see y'all Friday. Y'all have a good night. Stay up.
Listen, I'm easy to find. And listen, they can kiss my ass if they don't like it.